Yo, what's going on, Nomads and Drifting podcast listeners? Welcome to Backspace Nomads, where every week we discuss what's happening in gaming, talk about upcoming releases, and bring gamers on to share their personal gaming stories. You can find us on our Twitter at Backspace Nomads, and also over on our Patreon, patreon.com/Backspace Nomads. This is episode 31 of the podcast, and I'm Brian, and of course, my co-host for this podcast is Monica. What's up, Monica?
What's up, Brian? That's it.
Thanks. I feel like we're connected now.
Yeah, we've bonded.
We've bonded. What have you been up to, man?
Oh, just living the dream. Been playing some games with my friends.
Yeah.
I streamed them. I streamed it on Twitch.
I saw you streaming on Twitch. You're playing Sanctum 2?
Yeah, Sanctum 2. It's like a tower defense game. I felt bad because I was having a great time, but the reality is I was drunk and I wasn't talking very much. And my friends and I just talk shit, so it's just a stream of shit talking.
You feel like you lost your step as a streamer? You don't talk as much?
No, I was just already drunk when I started streaming, and then, I mean, as you know, you saw the overlays, bud, and you were not very happy with me, so.
How dare you take those overlays?
It was better than my Comic Sans overlay, so, you know.
Baby steps, we're almost there.
Yeah, I was just dipping my toes into the water, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
The future streams are going to be the creme de la creme.
You can find our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Backspace Nomads. We usually stream there Fridays and Saturdays around 10-ish p.m. was kind of when we get started. Next week, I'm going to be starting a Zelda Breath of the Wild playthrough, which I'm pretty excited for because I've had this Switch sitting around, and it actually might get some use for this hurricane coming up here. Hurricane Irma is about to hit me.
Yeah.
So it might get some use there, but on the channel,
we may never see you again.
This might be the last one. Episode 31 of the Backspace Nomads might be the last one where we're a duo. You might have to find another podcast co-host.
No, I'll just get a puppet and become a ventriloquist and play you and me.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what I would do for you, man.
I think you can do it. I believe in you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I as soon as you said Breath of the Wild, I realized that from now on, when I wake up in the morning and I have some fucking gnarly ass morning breath, I'm just gonna be like, whew, got some Breath of the Wild in me. That's gonna be my new go-to.
Yeah?
Never thought of that before, but I'm gonna start calling it that. Or when I eat lots of garlic, which, by the way, I had some garlic bread tonight, so I got some Breath of the Wild going on.
Well, this is the first time I've actually really enjoyed that we do this podcast remotely.
Yeah.
So,
you're welcome.
Good for me.
Yeah, good for you.
Let's jump into our first segment of the night, the good, the bad, and the indie. The good, the bad, and the indie is where we look through all the new releases in gaming and bring you our opinion on what games you should play, the ones you should avoid, and the indie games that you need to put on your radar. This episode, we're looking at games released during September 3rd and the 9th. Monica, what's your good?
So this week was a little funky. I had to do some digging. I didn't want to go super obvious either. And I was having a hard time because this is an indie game. And I was like, do I want it to be my indie? But it's not going to be my indie. It's just my good. Okay. It is called Red Obsidian Remnant. And it is roguelike gameplay and action system combined in a dungeon crawler type game. I would say that the art style on this, also it's only $8.99.
That's pretty cheap.
Lower price point, yeah, and it's developed by Red Obsidian Studio. So, but yeah, it seems like there's a lot to the game itself. They have a very complicated action system, and basically like a lot of different types of attacks that you can do. And there are a lot of different monsters that you fight. It doesn't seem altogether super complicated, just from seeing some of the gameplay and whatnot. But it does seem fun, and I just felt like, in comparison to a lot of the other games coming out this week, I wanted to put it on my good list. I think a lot of people would have fun trying this one out.
Definitely, it looks like a JRPG that they set in like the roguelike setting, like with the skill tree and just the way the graphics are.
Yeah, the graphics are definitely JRPG. That's a good comment on it.
My good for the week has to be the Behemoth. I've been waiting on this game for a long time. I talked about it last week being in the beta.
I'm just kidding.
The Behemoth.
My game for the week definitely has to be the Behemoth.
That is the using it as an adjective.
You looked at me like you fucking idiot. Like
That's just my natural face.
Didn't know what to say. Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
I put on a very nice face for you for about an hour a week. You just caught me in a moment of weakness. I'm sorry. Destiny 2 I played the beta last week for it.
Yes.
This game, they released it on PS4 and Xbox for $60. It's from Bungie. They're releasing it in 2 months on the PC, so this just the console release. And I've just been waiting for this to come out forever. I'm a big fan of like looter shooters. I played The Division until Ubisoft showed us that they just had a big stinker on their hands. But I love a deep loot system. I love first-person shooters, and it's just, Destiny 1 was such a great game. I played a little bit of it, watched a lot of people play a ton of it, and so I'm excited to jump in with the Destiny 2 community and like be one of them. And just like, I don't know.
Do you think they'll accept you, Brian?
I think they will. I'm not as cool as I used to be. I know I've gotten a little bit older, but there's got to be like an older crowd there for me to, like the old Geezer clan or something.
Yeah.
Because I got no friends who play Destiny. I got none.
Oh.
If any people who listen to this podcast like want to play with me, like hit us up on Twitter, please. Like I need friends for Destiny 2. Help.
I'm so lonely.
I'm so lonely. All right, what's your bad for this week?
Oh man. All right. This one, so I have to preface this a little. I've never really played Minecraft. And
you've never played Minecraft?
No. Just wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. And this game, it's called Block Warriors. It's very, very inexpensive, but even at this price point, I don't think this is going on my bad list. For $199, you could play Block Warriors, an open world game in a cubic style. You have the whole city named Voltum City, filled with entertainments and dangers. Your goal is to climb the career ladder and establish your empire in 2 different ways. This is basically GTA.
Yes. Look at the font they're using.
Oh yeah, they even use the same yes, exactly, the same typeface. It is atrocious. But it's like it's not even a well done Minecraft GTA mesh up. It just sounds bad. The graphics aren't good. It's not even a nice like Minecraft look. It looks stupid. I'm summarizing this by just saying it looks bad, and a lot apparently. Now, granted, I haven't played, but from gameplay, there are a lot of typos. People have said that the world is pretty large, but there are just incredible amount of typos. It's not well put together. And it's, what do you really expect when it's $199? You can't expect too much, but, I'm just saying skip it,
You definitely should. And, like, there seems merit to the idea of, like, meshing Minecraft and GTA together. And how the hell...
It's been done before. I mean, like, Unturned, I think, is the, like, DayZ version of Minecraft. But those games were actually good.
Yes.
And so I just don't think that this is doing that mesh up. any favors.
I agree with you. This game looks fucking terrible.
Yeah.
My bet for the week is Kill the Emoji. It's getting released on the PC by the Drunken Apes. They don't have a price point yet, on Steam at least, and there's no way this game is going to be over $5. There is no way. It is a 3D shooter. Let me just read this from their... This is like their slug line, how they're trying to sell you the game. If you've ever wanted to shoot hordes of emojis right into their faces, then this is your game, buddy. First off, we're not friends. Second off, it is just a bunch of emojis in a big arena, and they're just running at you with hordes of them, and you just shoot them and they disappear. They don't have any like cool kill animations. There's nothing like funny or redeeming about this game. Mm-hmm. It is just a horde mode of emojis. It's like they tried to take a Duke Nukem style of like trying to be funny with it, and they just fell so flat. There is no interest in this game for me at all. I don't know how they made it on Steam. Like, this game is almost like, you know how that saying, like, when you're a hero and you live long enough to become a villain? These people thought they were so funny, and like they were doing such a service to like everyone in the world who's like dealing with the emojis right now, and you just didn't. You just added to the horrible culture that's surrounding emojis.
Yeah, it definitely looks extremely repetitive. Not a lot going on there. And I don't really dislike emojis that much. I'm one of those people where it's like, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, I'm not gonna like start like protesting with the crazy dudes in Charlottesville anytime soon. But but like, I'm not gonna hate on emojis. There was a time in my life where I was like, these emojis look stupid.
Yeah.
What happened to your traditional little, smiley face? Why can't that be a thing?
That like the aim smiley faces?
Yeah, but the reality is that we live in an emoji world. There's a movie that's come out called like, might even be Emoji World.
It's the emoji movie.
Is it just the Emoji Movie? I
I'm
think
pretty
it
sure.
might be something like that. We live in it, and it's not hurting anybody. So just accept it and don't try to capitalize on it with your shitty game.
Yeah. Dude, if these people price this at like $20, it will be my favorite thing I've ever seen.
At this point, if I were to make a game like that, I'd just price it at $100 because I'm probably not going to make any money on it if I put it at 99 cents. So if someone sees it and says, "Wow,
it's a
that
niche
seems
market.
Really expensive," yeah.
All right. So moving on into our indies, what's your indie game for the week?
So I'm pretty excited about this one. But also slightly hesitant to add it onto the list. I'm adding it specifically because it seems very unique. I am extremely intrigued by this game, and it's called Beat the Game.
You gotta sell it.
Yeah. So Beat the Game is an adventure game where you find your way with sounds. Sounds you find introduce cinematic cutscenes as the story unfolds. You can create new combinations on your holographic music mixer throughout the game, and in the end, you perform a live show with all the sounds you find. Ooh. I haven't really played a lot of games like this. I know it's not completely unique, but it is unique. Especially just the art style on it is very weird.
Very abstract, like.
Yeah, surreal. I would say surrealist.
Yeah.
And I really am intrigued by it. Now, it doesn't come without some concerns. It's not a very long game at all, and there have been complaints that it feels more like it's a completed game, by the way. This is not early access, but people have said it feels like it is a demo,
sure,
which is unfortunate. It's currently 30% off, $6.99 on Steam, and I don't know. I just think that this is kind of my jam. It's weird. The idea behind it's unique, And it's definitely a game I would go and give some time to. And it's also won a shit ton of awards.
Yeah. Like, all the artwork has gotten awards. It feels almost like a Tim Burton game.
Yeah, it
right?
really does. Like, the art style is definitely Tim Burton-esque.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's definitely won some awards based off of the art. And you know, if it's short, that sucks.
$10.
But yeah, like, it's under 10 right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it seemed really intriguing. How about you?
My indie for the week would be Archaea, The Path of Light. This is being released by Two Mammoths. It's basically a puzzle solving game done on like this like much bigger level. Like, if you take the iOS games where you kind of got to redirect things and solve puzzles, they took that idea and set it into a beautiful 3D environment. The objective of this game is to take a light source and reflect it throughout the entire puzzle with like mirrors and such to light up all the crystals in the world. I'm a big fan of these kind of like logic-like games. I know we played Mages of Australia a pretty long time ago at this point on the podcast to review it. And this is kind of like that in its purest form, just taking those puzzles and telling a story through those puzzles. It has 42 levels in it, which is huge. I don't think they have a price point for it yet, but it's probably going to be under $20. The game looks great, and I can see myself like mindlessly, or not mindlessly, but like wanting to like decompress from my day and just playing a puzzle game. This is definitely where I'm going to go. It's what the indie genre is kind of set up for. Or for these like niche, unique games like this to like just live in.
Yeah, and one of the things too is I feel like a lot of puzzle games now use refraction of light, or even specifically a lot of just like larger, you know, like RPGs. Well, at some point you have to move something around and reflect light, and that's a fun dynamic that you will partake in occasionally. This game's like circulating around that, and so I definitely like those types of puzzles. I think that they're fun, and the fact that there are so many levels, that this one seems really cool. So I approve of your choices.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up this little segment. Give me the rundown of your good, the bad, and the indie.
All right, so my good is Red Obsidian Remnant. It's currently priced at $8.99 on Steam. It came out from Red Obsidian Studio, and it is an action roguelike RPG. My bad is Block Warriors. It came out by Volturnus Games, which, by the way, is the name of that city that you're spending some time in. Yeah, it is a RPG, I guess, Minecraft type visual crime adventure game. You guys should just skip out on that one. And then my indie is this really cool, unique looking game called Beat the Game. It is a music surreal game, very stylized, and it has come at, or was introduced by Worm Animation. It has won a bunch of awards.
For me, the good's going to be Destiny 2. It's a looter shooter. Everyone's seen everything for it. You know that you're going to be into this game. If you've seen any kind of the advertisement, you know it's there. My bad is Kill the Emoji, which is a first-person shooter, which is a horde mode of emojis coming at you. You're playing with like the most basic default weapons you've ever had in your life. You've seen all these weapons before. It's the basic shotgun, it's basic Tommy gun, and they're trying to make a fun game off it, and they definitely fell flat. And then my indie for the week is Archaea, The Path of Light, which is a logic puzzle solver based on light refraction. And I definitely think you should check it out because games like this need to be funded so developers can continue to explore those spaces. And speaking of that, and the indies as a whole, PAX happened this week, or last week, I guess. And there is a massive amount of indie games that show up at PAX, which Monica would know better because you've gone to PAX before.
Yeah, I've been to many PAXs. This was PAX West, by the way, that happened. For those of you guys that aren't really following the conventions, it was PAX West. It happens in Seattle. And every PAX, they typically go through the games and they pick winners, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are awards that are won at PAX, and specifically with PAX West, they've got the PAX 10, where they pick 10 indie games that they think like really stole the show.
Mm-hmm. This is like a group of industry experts who pick this list, so it's not any kind of reviewers. It's people who know game mechanics and what it takes to make a game. And so we had an idea that we were just going to name these games, and we're just going to have Monica throw out what she's thinking about them, like a quick fire session, and let's see what we have with it. So, the first game, and these are all in alphabetical order. They're not ranked. The first game is Antihero from Tim Conkling, released on the iOS, Android, and the PC. What do you think?
What do I think? I played this, Brian. I know what I think. I
Was
already gave it a thumbs up.
Oh, okay. So you're in it.
Yeah, this was a fun game. It's weird because it feels like a board game, but very very small board game. Not a lot of movement happening in the game, but yeah, it's cool. It's a fast-paced strategy with an Oliver Twist type. You're running a thieves guild in a gaslit city overrun by corruption and greed. I like it. The art style is cool. The guy's got like really thick eyebrows, very manly.
That's what you like about it, dude?
Yeah, I like if their eyebrows connect and then go and touch their hairline.
Ooh.
I just want a solid like line across the face, you know?
Yeah, like a waveform just up and down.
Yeah, almost like I could pull it down over their eyes in a blindfold.
All right, next up, Celeste from Matt Makes Games Incorporated, released on the PC. It's a platformer adventure. What are you thinking about this?
Well, it's a game about climbing a mountain, and I like backpacking, so it's probably a game I will absolutely love because that's how you judge games, right? I don't know. You're supposed to meet peculiar characters and climb through this personal story of confronting your flaws. Never mind. I don't think I want to confront my flaws. Probably not going to like this game. But wait, it's set in Pacific Northwest. I like the Pacific Northwest. Maybe I'm back on board. I don't really know how I feel about Celeste.
All right. Next up, Cosmos Quick Stop from Big Sur Games, released on the PC. It's an action time management game. What are you thinking about Cosmos?
Fucker, I fucking have time management throughout my entire day. That's called a job. And, I get to play as somebody else doing a job of time management. I get to play as Morven, by the way.
That's a great name.
I inherited a rest stop in space. Wow. Ideally, now I've always said that I don't think that my dad or my parents really know what I do for a living, and not that I'm doing something like really like seedy underbelly of the world or anything, but I'm in tech and they're just not really tech savvy.
Sure.
Older parents. And I've always said that I feel like my dad would be just as proud of me if I owned like a Shell station. And so, maybe if I told him, Dad, I quit my job and my name's now Morven and I've inherited a rest stop, he might feel the same way. He might be really proud of me. So maybe I'd play this game, see if it fit for me, and if my parents would enjoy me a little bit more.
All right, that's Cosmos Quick Stop, released on the PC. Next up, we have Keyboard Sports from the developer Triband, released on the PC. It's an action adventure puzzle. So,
I guess
this game,
I am Keyboard Sports for one. It sounds like sexual, like water sports or whatever. It's just weird. Keyboard sports. I don't know, but this game uses your entire keyboard. Wow,
Ooh.
every single key. One of the things that I don't really think about when I'm at work is like, man, have I used every single key today? And now that I'm thinking about it, I realize that I'm probably not doing all I could do with my keyboard. Maybe. Are
you using every key at work?
No, definitely not. Not every day am I. And I think Keyboard Sports could make me realize like I could open up my world to my keyboard. I'm not going to, because I'm not that interested in learning about my entire keyboard. But if I ever needed to, or really was like, hey, My skill sets on my resume are like I'm proficient in like, Excel. I'm adept at, Adobe. And by the way, I played keyboard sports and you've used my entire keyboard.
Ooh. Keyboard Sports from Triband released onto the PC. Next up, we have No Heroes Here, developed by Mimic Interactive, released on the PC. It's a castle defense 2D platformer action game. What are you thinking about No Heroes Here?
All right. When all heroes are dead, you have one duty: to work together and hold your ground.
Ooh.
I guess I don't know. I don't have a lot of feelings about this. They're talking about crafting. They're talking about it being castle defense. They're talking about 2D platforming genres. What kind of fucking game is this? Like, if I were to make a game and I just wanted to make sure it had a little bit for everyone, it might be No Heroes Here, because it seems like they're really just taking a stab at like any type of game that's out there. I do like castle defense games in general. I don't know if I really like them on PC. I'm more like, I think of castle defense games as more like a pooping game. You just sit on your phone and you save your castle as
sitting on your throne.
Yeah, exactly. You're saving your castle as you're sitting on your throne. Exactly. So I don't know. I don't have a lot of feelings about this one way or another. It seems like it could be a little bit of everything.
Oh, all right. That's No Heroes Here from the developer Mimic Interactive on the PC. Next up, we have Ship It from Think On Labs, released on the PC. This is a VR action puzzle game. What are your first impressions about Ship It?
All right. Well, this is a fast-paced puzzle fun, but it is VR, and it sounds like you are taking boxes and it's like a Tetris environment. You're having to take boxes and like put them into situations so you can get the most out of your space here. Mm-hmm. I just want to say that I have a friend that works for FedEx, and he's constantly trying to find a new job. I think it might actually be offensive to him if I was like, hey, I'm spending my excess time on Ship It. It's a VR game where I get to pack boxes. But that being said, maybe Tetris in a FedEx environment is what I need in my life. And I definitely need exercise. So, this might not be as heavy hitting as actually picking up a box, but I would be flailing my arms around, so that would be good.
You're going to get fit playing this game, definitely.
Yep.
All right, that's Ship It from Think On Labs, released on the PC. Next up, we have Shoot Mega Pack from developer Actual Humans, released on the PC. It's a local multiplayer party game. What in the... Well,
I love parties, and
you're a party animal.
And I love friendship. And I actually even like a minimalist, kind of culture. But visually, this game just isn't really doing it for me. Like, if I'm going to hang out with my friends, I want them to be more than a cursor. And I want them to be more in my life than a cursor, and
sure.
And so I'm just I don't know. Could it be fun? Sure, maybe. Am I like looking at this and thinking, fuck yeah? No, not at all.
All right. So that's Shoot Mega Pack, developed by Actual Humans, released onto the PC. Next up, Tiny Bubbles, developed from Pine Street Codeworks. It's an iOS, Android, PC, and Mac game. It's a physics puzzle game.
All right. So a few things about fuck yes, Tiny Bubbles. For one, this just I love bubble baths. Okay, bubble baths are fucking great. And this is a mesmerizing organic, by the way, organic puzzle game about playing with clusters of soap bubbles. So it's kind of like you're matching them, you're popping them, they're growing, all the things that you want from a soap game. So I'm just imagining myself taking a bath, saying, oh, I'm all nice and relaxed now. Get out of the bath, be like, should I leave the bath? No, I don't know. Oh, wait, I can leave the bath and I can go to my PC and I can play Tiny Bubbles. The only thing that really does concern me about this game, and it has nothing to do with the game itself, is that when I was in grade school, we had a period or class that we had to learn about Hawaii and luau's and the culture there. And there's a song that they all made us learn, and it was called Tiny Bubbles, by the way. We all had to sing it, and I didn't really like singing in front of people because I have a horrible voice, but it goes a little like this. Tiny bubbles in the wine make me happy, make me feel fine. And this was like, oh shit, I remember when I used to sing this song in grade school, and I looked up the lyrics and I was like, holy fuck, this song's about drinking. Why were they teaching us this in second grade? This is so weird.
Dude, that song is like the soccer chant for some English like soccer team. Like, I think it's like West Ham United or something. They chant that song in the stadium because they want to get fucked up.
It's crazy. But Tiny Bubbles, yes, I will play you. I will drink some wine to you because you're reminding me of the song about wine. And you just seem chill.
God damn it, Tiny Bubbles. Released on the iOS, Android, PC, and Mac from Pine Street Codeworks. Next up, we have Wonder Song, developed by Dumb and Fat Games, released onto the PC. It's a musical adventure. What do you think about this?
Can we talk about the developer name for a while?
Okay.
What's up with Dumb and Fat Games?
I like that.
Really, they are not thinking very highly of themselves. Like, how about like Big, Bold, and Beautiful?
Or are they a soap opera developer?
Yes.
Okay.
But musical adventure game, there's you're this person, you're running through the wilderness, you're singing, you're playing puzzles, and you're singing, and you're globetrotting, and you're singing. And that's cool. People like those things, right? I don't know.
Enough to put it into a game.
I don't know how I feel about this one. It looks colorful. It looks like it could be fun. I like singing. People don't like, as I have already said, people don't really like when I sing.
I loved it.
Well, thank you. But, maybe I would enjoy singing as this dumb and fat character. Which, by the way, the character doesn't look dumb or fat. They look happy and slender. Yeah.
All right. That's Wonder Song from Dumb and Fat Games, released on the PC. Next up, the final of PAX 10, West of Loathing from Asymmetric, released onto the PC. It's an adventure RPG. You're shaking your head back and forth. What's going on?
We talked about this one. This is another one that's been on the podcast before. West of Loathing was a game that we talked about when we were saying, like, what would we think of a game, or would we want to play a game when we were 13? And this is one of the ones that I said I would want to play because I was obsessed with Newgrounds and I love stick figures. So this is a stick figure slapstick adventure RPG set in the Wild West. Tactical combat. They say that they have delicious character advancement. I don't know what that means, but I love things that are delicious, and I like advancing as a character. So I think that this might be a game that is truly for me, 13-year-old me, and current me. I'd be trying it out.
That's West of Loathing, and that's your PAX 10 from PAX West for this year. Hats off to you. That was a rapid fire. I am so impressed by what you gave me there. That was in-depth, heartfelt critiques.
I'm really, really exhausted, and weird things come out of me when I'm exhausted, words and otherwise.
All right. We're going to go to intermission real quick so Monica can catch her breath. And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about conventions and how to survive them. We'll be right back, everybody. Thanks for sitting through that intermission, Nomads. Coming back from the break, we are going to be talking about gaming conventions. It's kind of the convention season. PAX West just got done with. TwitchCon's coming up. And we wanted to share with you some tips and tricks and some stories about how to survive a convention, especially because in our midst, we have a convention veteran. Monica has been to so many conventions. I can't even count them.
Conventions, conferences, like a never-ending death pool.
Why do you go to so many?
For one, work.
Yeah,
but those aren't video game conventions. I don't know. I just started going to them. I went to Comic-Con when I was younger. My family never took me to any of these. It's like as soon as I turned 18, I just started going to nerdy conventions, which, you know, Comic-Con now is like anyone will go to that. But
yeah, back
then, like there weren't like really comic movies coming out. And so it was a little bit more of a niche, you know, a group of people that went. And you'd see a lot more celebrities, by the way, because they weren't as horrified of being accosted by fans. Just walking around, not asking for signatures. But yeah, like anime, I went to anime conventions and everything. I just liked them. I enjoyed them. And then obviously when I became a bigger part of Twitch, the conventions are the easiest way for you to meet up with everyone that you want to see, assuming that they're all going to the same convention. So I try to hit up as many as I can. There was like one year where I think I went to like every single PAX. I don't think I'm ever going to do that to myself again, but you know, it's where I get to see people that are online friends and people that I enjoy spending time with, that I can't just travel to go see them all the time. And sure, it's fun, you know? It's like a big adult field trip. That's what it feels like.
All right, so let's give some tips for our nomads listening out there. What's your first tip for going to a convention?
So I feel like I wish I would listen to this bit of advice that I have here. I swear every single time I go to a convention, I end up with blisters all over my feet. It's like I want to take my shoes off and look like I have leprosy. But it is, do not wear new shoes. Now, I don't know who I'm trying to impress, but I oftentimes will wear shoes that are not super comfortable. And I find myself in extreme pain, and pain that only alcohol can solve, which thankfully at these things after hours, there's lots of alcohol. So I do solve my issue at night. But it's just, you're going to be on your feet a lot. And even if you don't have a ton of things that you want to go see, it's still a lot of walking. These convention halls are way bigger than you give them credit for. You may feel like you're in a single room, but that's like saying you're walking through casinos in Vegas. You're walking for miles. So don't wear new shoes. That's my very first bit of advice.
I think my first one would just be about a way to enjoy yourself. I'm not a big convention person. I just never been exposed to them. TwitchCon last year was my first convention I ever went to. I went to MegaCon this year in Orlando. And for me, the most important thing is just to like say yes. Like, you're going to get pulled in a lot of different directions and go into as many directions as you can. Everyone there is there to party, have fun, like be a gamer, be a nerd. If you embrace kind of as gamers, we want to say no to a lot because we're not used to going outside and partying with other people all the time. If you say no to that, you are not going to enjoy a convention the way you're supposed to. There's a lot going on inside of the convention hall, and that's fun and that's good. There is a lot more going on outside of the convention. Like, the convention happens outdoors.
Yep. My next bit of advice is buy that shit on Amazon. There are very, very few deals that you find at these conventions. It's like going to the airport to go get Applebee's. You're going to be charging 3 times. You're going to be charged 3 times more just because you're in an airport. That is the same thing for all of this gear, these plushies, these things. Now, there are occasionally things that are only provided at conventions. And if you
Yeah.
care about those things, invest your money there. But don't go to one of these booths where you're just buying a unicorn plushie. You can buy that on Amazon. Save yourself the money. I know I'm being a coupon queen right now, but save yourself the money. There are occasionally deals. Like I know Astro has had deals on their headsets where you might not be able to get that discount if you were just to order them off their site. And so you may find deals like that. So if you do have the extra spending cash, save those for those things that you're going to save money on. I'm totally being a coupon queen right now. But I am a coupon queen.
Clip away.
I'm clipping. So yeah, just buy that shit on Amazon. If you need to go home with something, go home with memories and pictures, and then go buy that unicorn plushie and say that you got it at the convention.
No one will know.
No one will know.
My next one, and this is only for the people out there who like to indulge in a few cocktails. There's a lot of drinking that goes on. You party into the late into the night. When you wake up the next day, you're gonna have a hangover. We're not young anymore. Hangover's gonna be there. Don't be a hero. Get up and start drinking. You do not want that hangover to last until 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or even 5 if you're like me. I made the mistake. I think it was like the second day or third day that we were out there. Me and our friend Josh just had hangovers all day. We were in this weird funk. We didn't know how to get out of it. And then we had like 1 glass of wine and we snapped the fuck out of it. Get up and start drinking. Treat a convention like you're on a cruise. You're not in normal society at that point. Take an Uber, take a Lyft, and just start drinking, everybody.
I'm going to bundle a couple of my next ones. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but not all of the cameramen are professionals, ladies. If a guy comes up to you and says like, oh, I work for this blog, do some homework and make sure that that blog is not just his Facebook page where he shows photos that he took of you to his 14 friends.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not all of these cameramen are professionals. Do a little bit of research. Respect your bodies. And then alongside that somewhat is if you like personal space from anybody, not just cameramen, bring your plastic bubble, because there are going to be spots in these convention halls where you're going to have to touch people and you're going to be
Real
shoulder
close.
to shoulder, and it's going to feel like Black Friday, and it's not going to be comfortable. And I know for people like me, I'm not even a big person to begin with. My shoulders are probably like 3 inches wide. And I still am like, oh God, there's so many people here. It gives me a little bit of anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much body heat, you know? And even if
And
they're
sweaty.
not farting or they don't have BO, I just feel like I can feel their body heat. It's weird. I don't like that. So I would say just make sure that you know you're going to get into that, or go really early in the morning when everyone's still hungover. That's going to be your best bet, is to go early in the morning, unless you're willing to rub up. And if you rub up, don't rub up too hard. Don't rub up too hard, because you don't want to cause a problem. You don't want to be one of those creepy cameramen. You know what I mean?
Okay. My last bit of tip is that you're at a convention. Every event that you want to get into at a convention, you can get into. Do not be afraid to try and sneak into a party or two. Everyone's wearing badges, but everything's kind of loose. Everyone's probably been drinking a little bit inside of these parties or little like VIP rooms that you can get into. There is always a way. The last TwitchCon, there was a exclusive party at the Hard Rock that me and our group were told that we couldn't get into. And they're like, there were some people who had gone up and said, you know, hey, you can't get in there. You have to have a pass. It's a VIP. To which me and Josh, who I brought up earlier, said, fuck that. We're going into that goddamn party. So we made our way up, took the elevator as high as it would take us in.
You went through the fire escape.
That's coming.
Wait, you were... Be ready to know where the fire escapes are, people.
Here's the trick about hotels. You can't go all the way up on the elevator, but there is a level you can get to. Take the elevator as high as you can go, and then pop that fire escape open and start walking. We went up, I don't know, 5 or 6 floors until like their balcony area.
Getting it.
Just keep trying which one. Like if there's an alarm, don't hit it. But you just keep pushing the fire escape things until one door opens, and one will. And then you're going to be there on the party level. And then you got to get past security. Here's a tip I learned from Josh. As me and Josh just said, follow me, I got this. He starts walking, puts the cell phone up to his ear, and is looking like he's trying to find someone. And he starts saying on his phone, hey, yeah, no, we're coming back into the party. We're going to find you. Don't worry. I know you're drunk. And we just, like, right by security. Right by him. The security didn't even stop us. It was such a good idea. And that's what I'm saying about there's no party you can't get into. Because here I am, just a nobody who is just enjoying the night, getting drunk, being told I can't get in somewhere. And now I'm in the VIP. I'm rubbing shoulders with the big Twitch people. The Ezekiels of the world.
You're sharing personal space with Twitch people.
Oh, I'm rubbing up on...
And you know what, Brian? You are not nobody in the world. You are a fucking Assassin's Creed up in here. Climbing up fires. You know, you're just treating this thing like a platformer. You brought the game to real life, you know?
Yes, I'd like that about you. Thank you for like letting me know what I am and giving me worth.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do you need more of that? Because
every day,
you're great. I think you're great.
Thank you. Some people just don't appreciate me.
Yes. So alongside that, you know, Brian's talking about you can get into the parties, but go to the parties. Mm-hmm. Unless it's truly not your thing, even people watching isn't your thing, then don't go, I guess. But I really feel like some of these parties that happen, whether they're Twitch, whether they're developer parties, whether they're indie parties, they're worth checking out. Mm-hmm. At least the real ones.
The real ones? What are the fake ones?
Well, the fake ones, you may end up at a salon that said that they were having a video game party, and they have some televisions up on the wall, and they have a bar, and you're ordering drinks from the bar, and you're playing some games on small televisions in this dark back room. And there are a few people there as well that seem slightly as confused as you are with your group of friends. Like, is this a party? Are we supposed to be here? And then the guys that own the salon start getting this, like, kind of creepy, rapey vibe.
What the fuck?
And then one of your friends sees one of the guys bring a very, very drunk girl into a broom closet, and he tries to get in to tell the girl to get out, and the guy's like, leave it alone or whatever, and then you don't know if you're supposed to call the cops or not, and you're like, this is fucking weird. And then you walk out of the building, and you're walking down the streets like, you know what, let's just get the fuck out of here. We don't know what's going on. Like, maybe, yeah. And then the cops do arrive, but you're not the ones that called them. It's crazy. Don't go to those parties. Do a little bit of homework. Again, not all the cameramen are real cameramen. Not all the parties are real parties, boys and girls. That's a true story.
Is it? I thought that was hypothetical.
No, I didn't just make that up, believe that or not.
Oh.
It was very weird. It was very weird.
I wish I wasn't there. I wasn't. It's working out for me.
Yeah.
You got any other tips, or is that all we got for the people?
A real tip. The last one I guess I would have for you is that as you're walking through, there's a lot of people, and you almost feel like cattle, right? Mm-hmm. You're gonna have this sense of like, I have to keep moving, or these people at this booth don't really have time to spend talking to me. They do need to talk to a lot of people, but guess what? They want to hear from you, and you can have great conversations with developers or, you know, their marketing people that are attending. Mm-hmm. I think it's totally worth it to connect with indie game developers, and I have done that, and I've actually made like really good friends with some people just by going to their booth and shooting the shit on a normal human to human level. So don't feel like you just have to move on, that you're only supposed to spend 10 seconds looking at a game that you're interested and skedaddle. Really, like, if you want to be there, because they're trying to promote, and they're wanting to connect with you as well. So So don't let yourself turn into cattle. That's just in your own head.
And they don't know who you are. Take that.
Yeah.
You could be a big Twitch personality with a fantastic podcast. They don't have an idea.
Yeah.
So that's it. And we're going to be at TwitchCon this year. So if you see us there, don't be afraid to like say hello and get up in our personal bubble and radiate your hair all over us.
I just talked about rubbing up on people. Like, I'm not inviting anyone to do that to me.
All right, everyone. That's episode 31 of Backspace Nomads. We'll be back next week with episode 32. Bye, everybody.